Hey guys, I'm back and I'm really excited to get my first seed started for the Grow at Home 2026 challenge. It's been a little bit wild here on Cape Cod. We had a massive blizzard come through on Sunday and Monday, and I ended up having to leave my Cape Cod cottage and go to my townhouse off Cape because we had no power for, I think it was around four or 5 days. I thought I'd get some video of the storm before my phone dies because we don't have electricity, but see that tree over there, a big pine tree broke already. And then look down here, down the street. Look at the wind, guys. It's crazy. Down the street, there's a whole bunch of trees blocking the road. So we can't get out that way. Look at it, guys. When they have wind gusts, it's like 70 miles an hour. I probably should go inside. It's crazy. Okay, guys, we decided to pack up and leave because it says it's going to be 5 days or so before we have power. So I brought all my seedlings upstairs. Good thing I didn't do my peppers yet. Good thing I held off. I have my heat mats, more heat mats in here, my water jug, my lights. I have to bring the kitty litter box with me. Sorry, that's disgusting. I didn't scoop it yet this morning because it was pitch black down there. I couldn't see. And I'm gonna wait till the last minute and then load up my seedlings and try to get home to my other house where there is electricity. It's a lot of work. Got my babies packed up. They probably like it because this is south-facing. The sun is actually strong, but I put humidity domes on them just to keep the cold off a little bit. This car's packed. Mr. Hubby's car's packed with the lights. This was no small feat. Not to mention the dog, the cat, the kitty litter, the food from our freezer. Oy. I thought this year was going to be the year I got away with just planting my seedlings and staying in the same house. But I guess this year is going to be another migrant year. Thanks to Blizzard of 26. Could be worse. I'm grateful. So today is Friday, February 27th. So I am a little bit late getting things started. I am late on a lot of seeds, but today, I'm specifically focusing on our grow along that I am doing along with Roxana from Soil and Margarita and Vita from Budget Gardening with Vita Loca. So today, I'm just going to hopefully just get my petunias in. And in the meanwhile, I might sprinkle in some footage of the snowstorm and the chaos that ensued because I had to move my entire grow room to my townhouse off Cape. So all my little seedlings seem to have survived. Maybe I'll do a little seedling tour. So basically this video is going to be a little mishmash of everything that's been going on in my life this week. Plus we're going to sow those petunia seeds for the grow along. So just to get started, the grow along, as I mentioned, is the three of us, Roxana and Vita and I. And I know that they already posted their videos, so be sure to check out their videos about the grow along because I know they already put out their petunia video. So I'm the late one, but that's okay. We'll catch up. We'll all catch up. The other thing I did want to mention about our grow spaces is, you know, we all have different styles. We all have different styles of doing videos, basically. They are very good at teaching and poised and everything's perfect. Not me. I'm the dark horse, the wild one here because I'm always disorganized. I'm always messy, but I get it done. It's just a very different format. But anyways, there's something for everyone. And we can learn something from each of the different ways we do things, I think. So the seeds we are going to sow are the Easy Wave Plum Vein Pelleted Petunias from Johnny's. And as we mentioned in prior videos, we aren't sponsored by Johnny's or anything. We just picked these because we thought they would be pretty. So that's the package. But if you don't have this exact petunia and you want to join the grow along, grow any petunia. We are growing petunias, marigolds, and oh my gosh, I can't remember what the other one is. Marigolds and, oh my gosh, this is why I'm frazzled. Marigolds, oh, of course, zinnias. How could I forget? Yeah, we're growing zinnias. So I just took the cap off this and I'm waving it around. Can you imagine if I dumped on my seeds? I don't have that many. This package only came with, I think, like 20 or 25 seeds, and I gave a bunch of them to Vita. So I don't have that many. I can't be throwing them around. So anyways, they come like this because they're pelleted seeds. Let me just show you what they look like. I'll zoom in here. So they have a little clay coating on them. And sorry, my hands are so dirty. I already had my hands in the soil here. And the reason they do that is, I did explain this in a prior video, but if you missed it, I'll just give you a quick overview of why they make the seeds pelleted. The pelleted is like a clay coating. And they do that because petunia seeds are so tiny. They're like grains of sand. And without the pelleted, they'd be really hard to handle. So this way you can easily kind of just pick off one seed at a time and sow them. That's one of the reasons. The second reason is some pelleted seeds, not all, have a little bit of inoculant ingrained in the pellet. So it gives them a little boost to grow or a little nutrients. Not all. I'm not sure about these ones, but some do. And the other reason is for big, giant growers that use mechanical seed starting. They can put these in the machines and it just works well with the machinery to have the pelleted seeds. One word of caution with pelleted seeds, they don't usually last as long. So if you buy something that's pelleted, you might as well just plant them all the first year because they tend to lose their germination rates really quickly. Not always, but as a general rule, yes. And the other thing is, once you sow them and you have them in moist soil, you want to really prevent them from drying out. Because sometimes when they dry out, they can harden and it makes it impossible for that little seed to germinate. I'm making it sound way more difficult than it is. It really isn't. It's pretty straightforward, but just some things to think about. And just one last thing, to kind of handle them with care. That's why they put them in this little plastic container, because if you crush them at all, that clay coating will crumble off. And I believe if you watch Vita's video, you can see that I had sent her some in a plastic Ziploc baggie and I mailed it to her. So some of her coating had come off some of her seeds. So she was able to save those seeds that the coating came off. So all was fine. But all right, so let's get started. I am going to grow mine, I believe, in a small container. Let me grab it. So if this is your first time starting seeds, wow, this lighting is really, really bad. I lost all my lighting that I usually use for videos, so I apologize for the really bad lighting. It's terrible. But anyways, so if you're a beginner and you're starting seeds and you're wondering, should I use seed starting mix or potting soil? I personally use potting soil just because I grow so many seeds that it's impossible for me to keep up with potting them up and giving them fertilizer all the time. So potting mix just carries my seedlings further quicker, but seed starting mix is absolutely fine to use too. But just know if you're using seed starting mix, there's no nutrients usually in the seed starting mix. So you will have to pot those up pretty quickly. Like once you get your true set of leaves, you're gonna have to pot them up into something that has nutrients in the soil. Either that or you're gonna have to give liquid fertilizer quite often to keep those seedlings going, because that soil does not have the nutrients they need to grow beyond like the cotyledon into the true leaf stage. Let's talk about the soil I'm going to use. I'm actually going to use the same soil as Roxana is using by coincidence. We both love this Fort V's. I would lift the bag for you. Maybe I can. It's a really big bag. It's from the Vermont Compost Company. Ooh. I went to the gym today, so it looks like this. It's called Fort V's. And it's a great soil to use, but it is a little hard to source. So I'm going to be using that, but you can use any soil. Just make sure if you're using potting mix, get a good one. I had been using Miracle Grow for my other seedlings, and they've done just fine. And maybe at the end, I'll give you a little seedling tour too. I don't have much going yet because, like I said, I'm a little behind. So I took my seed starting mix and I just moistened it a little bit. And for you beginners, you don't want it sopping wet. You want to pick it up and give it a squeeze. And if it holds together, that's fantastic. So you can see this is holding together. But you don't want to squeeze it like this and have drip, drip, drips of water. Oops, I just got all dirt down my sleeve. I told you I'm messy. So you want to squeeze it if you don't want water to be dripping out of it, because that'll be too wet and you don't want your seeds to rot. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to fill my container. I didn't strain this. This potting mix is actually really nice. It doesn't have huge chunks. I see one right here. If I see chunks like this, I'll just either break them up or pull them out. But I'm just going to smooth it out. Give it a little pat. You don't want to compact it really tight because you want those roots to easily be able to penetrate the soil. So what you want to do is when you're planting any seeds, you want to read the back of the package just for the planting instructions. Most packages have really good information. Johnny's is excellent. So I'm going to leave it like that. So you can see this is only about an inch or so. And I'm going to start them this way instead of individual packs like, let me show you, like this. You could use this and just put one seed in each cell. But I like to see what germinates and then I pot it up. It just works better for me because I'm doing so many. But if you're just doing a few and if you don't care if you have empty cells, you can use something like this. You can use a yogurt container. You can use anything. You don't need to go out and buy this stuff. I know Roxana uses this product too. This is Bootstrap Farmer. I'm not sponsored by them, but if we use it because we grow so much and we like to reuse these over and over. So these really hold up. But you can use anything you want. You can use a takeout container, anything. So what it says about petunias is that they do want to be surface sown because they need light to germinate. So you don't want to bury these. You want to just sprinkle them on top. So that's what I'm going to do. So I am just going to use up all of these because like I said before, these are pelleted seeds. So they won't last that long. So probably if I waited till next year, I mean, they may germinate, but I might get like a lower germination rate. So I don't have that many, like I said. There was only 25 in the package and I shared. So I'm just going to sprinkle these in right on top, kind of spread them out a little bit. What's nice about having a pelleted seed is they like pretty much glow. If I can, I'll zoom in and show you these when I'm done. But I'm just kind of spread them out like that. And I'm not going to cover these, but I am going to add a little vermiculite to the top. Not too much, just a little. So the vermiculite keeps the algae down. I use the fine vermiculite. It looks like this. And just put a little bit on top. You don't need a lot. And it also retains moisture, so those little seeds can stay moist. That's it, guys. Now I am going to mist the top because I want to make sure, one, that the soil is moist enough, and two, that the seed makes good contact with the soil. You don't want to dump like just your regular watering can on because what that will do is will just displace the seeds, which isn't so bad in here because they would probably just all end up on the side. But you could, if this was full to the top with soil and you use regular water, you just wash your seeds right over and that wouldn't be good. So I'm just going to give it a little spray with this. Pump. Just give it a little moisture. Just like that. Excellent. Now I'm just going to put a little dome on this and I'm going to pop it onto the lights on a heat mat because on the back it says, let's see. Oh, temperature is 60 to 75 degrees. As you know, this is the other difference I have in my grow space compared to Roxana and Vita. My grow space is in my basement and it is cold down here. Usually like 58 or 60. So it's really cold down here. We don't heat our whole basement just for my plant room. Unfortunately, I wish I could, but every time I turn it up, Mr. Hubby turns it down. I turn it up and he turns it down. So you know how that goes. So it's a losing battle. So I just put mine on a heat mat to make my life easier. So, but if you keep your house pretty warm, like 70, 68, 70, you might be fine without a heat mat. So I am just going to press these. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just kind of pressing them down to make sure they make good contact with the soil. I am going to put a humidity dome on here. I'm going to use just a little one like this. You don't need to buy a humidity dome. You can just put saran wrap, plastic wrap over this. This just keeps the moisture inside so the seeds don't dry out. Just helps you so you don't have to water every second. I check on my seedlings at least twice a day, morning and night. And if I'm being honest, I check on them more than that. But in general, check on them in the morning, make sure they don't need any moisture, check them at night for the same reason. All right, so I'm just gonna pop this back here onto my heat mat and I'll be right back. I just wanna talk about on the front of the package, you can also see how long it takes for them to go from seed to flower. So these seeds take 70 to 95 days. So if you have a short growing season like we do here in New England, that's why you need to start them early indoors. Otherwise, you won't get flowers till October and then they'll be cold. And in general, these take about a week, maybe a little longer than a week to actually germinate. So you should be starting to see those little tiny seedlings come up in about a week, 10 days. So that's what you can be looking for. And if you're wondering why I went through the craziness of moving all my seeds and all my seedlings and my lights and all that and setting up, it was a huge hassle. I didn't want my seedlings to get too cold because I didn't have any electricity, no heat on them. And I didn't want them to lose their natural light cycle that I put on my lights for about 16 hours every day, and then I shut them off. Those are some of the reasons why I made the choice to leave the Cape to save my seedlings. Okay guys, I thought I'd show you a little bit of my seedlings, and then I'll end up this video. But I wanted to show you this. This is my Cosmic Super Bisma Cosmic Cherry Petunia. I believe that's what it's called. And I wanted to show you the difference when you have it in a bigger pot. It's not super noticeable now, but see how this one has a lot more space. These are 1-inch containers, and I think this is maybe 2-inch container. Maybe close to a 2-inch container. Look how much bigger this one is than these. So these are my Super Bisma Cosmic Cherry Petunias that I started on, oh sugar, I don't have the date, but you can look back at my videos. That's those. I have like trays and trays of these, thank goodness. Then this is my Coleus. This is my Kong Coleus. They're doing decent. Coleus are really kind of slow to start, so I'm not surprised these aren't that big yet. But see how it looks a little sad? That one looks a little sad. I mean, I had to transfer these guys in the freezing cold weather. I'm only going to show you one of these, but I have a whole bunch. These are Solarscape petunias, so these are sun petunias. Getting to a slow start. So as you can see, if you're looking at my seedlings in comparisons to some, like my other fellow YouTubers that we're doing the grow along with, their rooms are a lot warmer. So my stuff grows a lot slower than them. So me starting my petunias after them is probably not a good idea. These ones are the Silver Wave petunias that I started on February 16th. So like 2 weeks ago-ish, 2 weeks ago-ish. Look at how tiny they are. Can you see them? They're there. I only planted one per container, and do I have 100% germination? I do. So that's pretty good. Each one does have one, but look how tiny they are. 2 weeks growth, guys. 2 weeks. If this was Vita or Roxana's, they'd have full giant leaves by now. So my stuff grows a lot slower. This is a new plant for me that I'm growing this year. Germination was a little bit spotty, but I'm really pleased because I don't think these are super easy. These are Salpiglossis. I've never grown these before, but they're really cool. If I can find pictures of this stuff in bloom, I'll put it on there, but look I'm pretty happy with these. One thing about these, I read that you're supposed to let them dry out between watering, so I'm trying to keep this not too wet. And then this grew like crazy. This is some yarrow. And if I can look up what kind of yarrow, oh, I have it. It's Flower Burst Fruit Bowl Yarrow. Look at that yarrow. It looks great, doesn't it? I'm so happy with that. That's a lot of yarrow. I'm going to plant that out in my yard. That's a perennial. And then a few vegetables. The only vegetables I've planted so far, I am so late, guys, is these are my onions. These are Walla Wallas. I already gave them a haircut once. I didn't do a ton of onions this year. I have maybe, 4 or 5 containers like this full of onions of this kind. And then these are, what are these? Oh, these are red onions, Rosa di Milanos, and I just did one of these, guys. I mean, there's a lot of onions in there. You can see how thick they are. There's a lot in there, but usually I do a lot more. And then these are my Zabroon shallots. Really not a lot. These seeds were old, so I wasn't sure. Onions are one of those seeds that don't last very long, so I just thought I'd give it a try. So I'm pleased that I have this many. I just wanted to use up the packet. And just to show you a few other things, I have some microgreens there that I actually need to eat. These are foxgloves. These are snapdragons. Look at my snapdragons. Terrible germination. I have some kind of moldy stuff on the top that usually doesn't bother them too much, which I don't understand because I'm really not keeping them that wet. So these were the orange snapdragons. These are apple blossoms. I don't have a lot, but I have a lot of snapdragons in my yard that come back. This is stock. I think this is called Venus cherry stock. I only have like 12 of those. And then on my other, I consolidated my grow space because when I had to move everything, it was a hassle. Here I have some, what is this? This is Echinacea, White Swan. I put White Swan on this side and I collected seed. And then on this side I did Paradiso and none of them germinated. I collected the seeds from outside, and this is sad but true. I struggle with verbena. I'm showing this because I want you to see the successes and the failures. This is my verbena. I don't know what's on my lens, why it's looking like that. Sorry, my lens must be dirty, but I have 1, 2, 3, and that's it. And I sowed these on, oh, I didn't write the dates. What is wrong with me? This is verbena, bonariensis vanity. And at least I have 3. Let's see if I can keep them alive. This, I don't even know what this is. I can't remember. What is this? This is what happens when you sow too many seeds. Oh, this is Coreopsis. Yep, a Corsical red Coreopsis. Those germinated nicely. I planted those also on February 16th, for like 2 weeks ago. And what is over here? I can't even remember what I grew here, guys. Oh, this is more stalk. I just didn't prick them out. So I started them in these trays, and then I moved them over to the big trays. Those are more onions. Over here, again, I tried again this year with red hot polka, and I got nothing. Second year in a row trying to grow red hot polka. If anybody has any tips for that, I would appreciate it. And this is, this is an aster called Valkyrie Chamois, I think it's called. No germination yet, guys. I'm really sad, but I think this takes a long time to germinate. Aster takes longer because I have more aster down here, I believe. No, delphiniums is another one. Fail, showing you all my fails. Yeah, here's some more Valkyrie Chamois that hasn't germinated yet, so I just think it takes a long time. And just an update, if you watched my last video on my geraniums, these ones, remember I only had 4 in the package. I called Park Seed and they sent me a whole nother package. So that was just an error. So they corrected it, and those are coming up. These are all my silver wave petunias I showed you. What's this? It's something that's not germinating. Oh, that's what we just planted, guys. And I didn't mark it. That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to label it. But those are our petunias for the grow along. And these are all my other petunias. What's this? Oh, I don't remember. I don't even remember planting this. Dianthus. Don't even remember planting that. Sad. That's about it for now. As you can see, I'm all over the place, and I'm late on starting so many things. I've got to get my peppers done this weekend. So I'm going to end it here. As you can see, my format, it's much more vlog style, very loosey-goosey, and I thank you for watching if you made it this far. And if you do decide to join the Grow Along, make sure you put that hashtag GrowAtHome2026 so we can see your progress and you can share it with us. That would be fantastic. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the bottom. And if you're new here and you want to subscribe, that would be fantastic too. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, get out there and grow. Bye.